Hey guys, Ed from Jersey here. Just talking about my experience with the Switch 2 so far. It's been 2 days since I got my Switch 2. I pre-ordered from Target, so I'm one of the lucky few who didn't get the Switch 2 the day of. Had to wait for Target to get it to FedEx and FedEx to do whatever they're going to do with it. It's not FedEx's fault though; it's Target's fault because Target decided to ship it the day after, or late night or day after, and ship it like a ground shipping. Take your time, FedEx. Guy doesn't need it, sort of shipping. Because I talked to a FedEx rep through chat or something. That's basically what they told me. Is like they have it on like this you know ground shipping that takes forever. Anyway, so I did end up getting mine on Monday. Um, did the unboxing with my son Declan, which was cool to do because we got it documented. It was cool to just have that. He was excited about it. Since then, he's like, yeah, whatever. Goes plays outside, plays his Xbox, but every now and again he comes and checks out the Switch. Um, yeah, what have I been doing with it? So far, I've been playing a lot of Mario. Excuse me, Mario Kart. Um, I'm from Jersey. It's always been Mario for me, not Mario. So it is what it is. Let's move on. But I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart World. It's been fun. Doing all the cups, unlocking all the costumes, and also checking out Free Roam, which is cool, I guess. Driving around, but not a lot to do there. Um, there's like different challenges and stuff, but I'd rather just do the racing. The endurance mode is cool. It's kind of like a knockout race, or I think call it knockout race, and then as like a explanation it says endurance. But basically, it's kind of like battle royale for racing. So you have to hit a certain place every time you do a lap, and knocks out like every four people every lap. So that's been fun. Playing online is cool. It's fast, it's fluid. No drops, no weird issues, no communication errors like I've been seeing on Mario Kart 8 a lot more recently. Um, yeah, the Joy Cons are definitely a lot better than the Switch One, just because they are bigger. They definitely fit the hand better, especially with this part that comes out. You know, you can kind of rest your hand around it. So that's been really nice. The UI for the Switch too is really fast. Like getting into the menus, kind of check out like the eShop and all that stuff. It's snappy. Like it's not like sitting around waiting for an image to load, and just jankiness and just sitting there. Things load fast, which is really nice. Um, the one thing that I'm bummed about is the the lineup. The launch lineup. It's Mario Kart World and some third party games. And actually, having more third party games is definitely cool. It's going to be cool to see Switch, Nintendo on the same level as a lot of is PlayStation and Xbox. But I wish there was more to do as far as Nintendo games. Like, yes, they do have the GameCube collection, which is only those three games: Wind Waker, F Zero, and Soul Calibur. I was excited about Wind Waker. I did try playing a little bit this morning, actually. The one thing that kind of sucks though is the C stick is inverted. Different from what you would expect nowadays with games, and I don't. I know you can change the button layout and stuff, but I don't think there's a way to change the inverted stick. So if I want to play that, I'm going to have to train my brain to go back to 2003 and play that. Unfortunately, but it is cool. It's there. And of course, they'll add more games later, so that should be exciting. So yeah, Mario Kart's good. Wish they had more games. GameCube games are fun. Wish the controllers were a little better. Um, this console, and I'm looking at it right here. It's in front of me. This console definitely has a lot of potential. At this point it definitely feels like a Switch One Pro. Um, Not a bad thing because the Switch One hardware was definitely showing its age especially recently. So it's definitely a lot better, a lot snappier, a lot faster. You can tell there's going to be a lot of potential for better games. Like Donkey Kong Bonanza looks pretty cool, and that's probably the next game I'm getting. Um, Older games, I don't know if it's placebo, but it feels like they load better and they play better, even though they're not optimized for Switch One or sorry Switch Two, and there's like a there's they're basically being emulated. Um, but it definitely feels like they are better. Like I played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I was telling my wife, I'm like, "Hey, look, it's a new Mario Kart game." She's like, "No, it's not. Is it?" But it did look really cool. Or looks as you expect, but a little better. One of my gripes though with the new console is I wish there was just more as far as the presentation and the UI. The one thing I didn't like about going from Xbox One X to Xbox Series X was it was the same dashboard. The only difference was you had moving backgrounds. Big whoop. I wish they did more. I wish they made it look different. Yes, like the icons on the bottom row are a little different. They're colorful. They're outlined. With the oval. And when you have something highlighted, you see like a little like pink and blue. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. What am I doing? Let me just put my Joy Cons back on. But yeah, I just wish there was more going on with the UI. Like, what does it matter? You're playing games anyway. I get that, but just something to kind of say this is a Switch 2, not a Switch 1, and I guess that would be the telltale. And the bigger, that's the thing too. A lot bigger screen, which is really nice. It definitely feels like a big premium product compared to the Switch. And I'm talking about the original Switch. That's the one I had. I didn't do the OLED or anything like that. Just because I didn't really play in handheld mode a lot, but now I might. Like the only time I play handheld is if I don't want to hog the TV, or if we're on vacation, or if I'm away for the weekend. I'll pull this out and play like Fortnite. I mean, I have a lot of hours in Fortnite on Switch, and the only reason why is because it's a quick pick up and go game. You can play it portably. But now with the Switch 2 and the power that's in the Switch 2, Fortnite is going to be a lot better. If you've played Fortnite on Switch 1, you know what I'm talking about. It takes forever to load anything. No textures load when they should. You don't see the lobby, you see the battle bus. And when you try to leave the battle bus, you can't. Or you can't pull your parachute because the buttons don't work yet, because textures are trying to load. It's none of that. It feels like you're playing Fortnite on a PS5 or a Series X. I did a comparison this morning. I did like a little bit of a speed test, like a loading speed test. And I have it right next to me. The Switch 2 loads Fortnite in 27 seconds from press to play to select it off the home screen to press A to start. It takes 27 seconds. PS5 takes 21 seconds. So it's definitely on par with the new consoles. The textures look great. Like, yeah, I'm sure they're not completely the same fidelity as PS5. I haven't really stared at it and studied it, but it looks damn good compared to what it looked like on the Switch One. Anyway, all the games are good. I just wish they had more games at launch, but gone are the days of like GameCube launches where you had Luigi's Mansion and Wave Race and Pikmin and all the other games. That's not happening anymore. not nowadays. What else do I want to say? I was gonna do like a three things I like, three things I don't like in the YouTube shorts, but I have so many thoughts in my head I didn't know how to kind of put that together. So I just figured I'd do a long term video. And speech is hard today. The online's good. Me and my son, we actually did the what's it called? The game share last night. We did it with Brain. What's it called? Big Brain Academy. That was cool. It worked really good. I mean, we were both in the same room on Wi-Fi, but that worked really well. The backwards compatibility is really good. I played Super Mario 3D All Stars a little bit. both with Mario Galaxy with the motion controls and Super Mario 64. That works really well. Um, the Super Nintendo NSO app works really nice. Like I said, I played Mario Kart 8. That worked really good. Um, the one game I held on to that I didn't play on Switch 1, I just figured I'd wait till Switch 2, is Metroid Prime. I actually haven't unboxed it yet, or it's in the shrink wrap. Um, and no, for not for any reason. I got it like with a gift card a long time ago. I just never got around to it. But I think I'm going to save that for my Switch 2 and play that here. Yeah, it's not a Switch 2 game, but who cares? And then, if I like that, of course, I'll get the new Metroid Prime that's coming out. But the next game that I actually get for the Switch 2 is going to be Donkey Kong Bonanza. Um, yeah, the game cards situation kind of sucks, where it's basically a cart that says you have the license to download this from Switch Online. That sucks. But I am going to still get those physically, just because it's nice to have something on the shelf, and I guess something that says I bought it. I don't know. It's in 20 years when I try to play, if that happens, if I try to play it, and I go, look at this game I used to play. It might not work. I may not be able to download it unless it's actually on the console, and if the console is still working by then. But it is what it is. I know Nintendo is still putting games on the cards, from what I understand. Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red put it on there, but by and large, either these companies are going to just keep supporting Switch 1 and say screw the Switch 2, or they're going to do the whole game card thing where there's nothing on it. So Nintendo definitely put them in a tough position. That sucks. But anyway, it is what it is. Here's the Switch 2, or the Switch 1 Pro. It has been cool. It's been fun. I'm definitely playing it a lot. And playing it portably is good with the big screen. One thing that kind of sucks. Sorry, Binks, and the dog. One thing that I've run into, one issue, if I did have to say, good and bad, is the whole battery charging thing. I have run into that a little bit. So the night I had it, I put it in the dock, and I think the Switch itself wasn't charging, or the Joy-Cons weren't. Yeah, I think it was the Joy-Cons weren't, because I was using a Pro Controller. So they were on the Switch, it was docked, and it showed that they were like at 70%, but there was no lightning bolt. But the Switch had a lightning bolt, so that was charging. So I had to like unpair them, repair them, turn off the console, turn it back on. I forget what I did, but basically, I got the Joy-Cons to recognize that they should be charging, and I got the lightning bolts. Now I'm having the opposite problem. I only put these back on for the video, but I've had these off for the better part of 12-ish hours, and I've played it quite a bit. Now what's happening is it's just showing that they're fully charged all the time. Nothing to see here. Move on. So I guess I'm just going to keep using the Joy-Cons in the grip until they die, and then try to charge them back up and see what happens. I know there's been workarounds online that says like go into the recovery mode, which I actually tried. That didn't do anything. But the other thing was it said drain them, recharge them. So that's where I'm at with that. Oh, the other thing to mention here too, coming from Switch 1 to Switch 2, this kickstand is awesome. It's definitely a big improvement from that little like plastic dual Joy-Con. This is a little flimsy if you kind of really manhandle it a little bit, but yeah, it is plastic too, but it definitely works. It holds the Switch wherever you put it and keeps it there. I used it a little bit. That definitely works nice. That's a big improvement. And that's really why I got the Switch 2, I'll be honest with you. Just the quality of life improvements. The kickstand, the processor, the screen, the Joy-Cons, better games in the future. I've just basically future-proofed my Nintendo side of the house. As far as the PlayStation goes, I still have a PS5 Pro. A base PS5. I don't see the reason to get PS5 Pro. I have the Xbox Series X, and at this point, I'm kind of like, why? Since everything's going to PlayStation, but I do have a library going back to the original Xbox on there, so it's cool to play all that stuff. So I'm definitely set. Um, but yeah, good console. Let me know what you think if you got one. Comment below, like and share, all that YouTube stuff. I'm not a professional YouTuber, although I'd like to be. It would be cool to make more videos. So let me know you're out there. Let me know if you're seeing this. And I'll try to do more shorts too, just because the shorts are kind of quick and to the point. I'll try to maybe kind of come up with 3 points I like, 3 points I don't like in different shorts. But yeah, I definitely want to do a longer, whatever. I'm tired. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Mario.